what's left. You got to root for. All right. Well, good morning. We're really happy to be back in Sarasota County, back in the South County for another time. Very recently, we were in Northport with some infrastructure announcements. I said that everyone there was hoping that the Braves would go to the World Series, and that has happened. So I know people are excited being the spring training home, and I know there's a lot of folks rooting for the Braves in southern Sarasota County. I want to thank Dana Young, our CEO of Visit Florida, for being here, Kevin Tebow, FDOT Secretary, Representatives Buchanan and Robinson, and then leaders from 3 Florida-based businesses, Rogan Donnelly of Tervis, who's hosted us here today, and we're excited about that, Rod Hirschberger of PGT Innovations, and then John Horn of Anna Maria Oyster Bar. So thank you for being here. And we're here because we are proud that Florida is really leading the way in terms of economic recovery, even in spite of some really significant headwinds that we're seeing out of Washington, D.C. In the month of September, Florida reached a level of job growth that we've only seen 4 other times in the past 30 years. And so you had nationally 194,000 jobs reported added in the month of September. The state of Florida alone accounted for 84,500 of the 194,000 jobs. And so that is, almost half of the nation's output was just in Florida. And if you take Florida out, then the country as a whole barely cracked 100,000 jobs. And so our private sector growth rate was 3 times faster than the overall growth rate of the nation. And our nearly 1% increase in jobs represented the largest increase of any state for September. Nationally, it was 0.1%. So we're proud of that. If you look, leisure and hospitality jobs increased 2.5% over the month. Construction jobs up 1.2%. And quite frankly, if we could get materials easier, that probably would have been even higher. Trade, transportation, utilities increased 1.1%. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, the number of businesses forming in Florida has increased by 34% in the first 41 weeks of 2021 compared to the first 41 weeks of 2020. Florida's seen almost 100,000 more business formations in 2021 than the next closest state anywhere in the country. And because of the success of our economy, we're happy to show 3 different companies, and they're going to come up and talk about what they've been able to do. But Tervis is headquartered right here. They got a great story, and we'll hear from Rogan. We also have PGT Innovations here. They're a national leader in premium window and door industries, and their roots date back to 1980 when 3 employees began in Venice, Florida. So we are happy to see them on the New York Stock Exchange, and we'll hear from the chairman on that. And then food and tourism industries. We have John Horn, who opened his first restaurant, Anna Maria Oyster Bar, on the City Pier in 1995. He now has 4 more restaurants, and they're 325 employees. They're up huge, not just over last year, but over 2019. And I think that's the thing when you look to see how are things going. When COVID hit, we worked very hard to make sure that we could keep everything going. We protected people's jobs, businesses, and our leisure and hospitality was hanging by a thread, and we were able to help and protect and make sure that the bottom didn't fall out. What they would say at the beginning was, one, thank you, we're doing it, we're going to get there. If we could just get back to 2019, they would be happy with that. Well, I can tell you, they're past 2019. And so that was kind of the golden age. Everyone wished they'd get back. We're already past that. And really, we're not stopping. We have been focusing on, in the last couple of weeks, going around the state and providing money for investments in infrastructure. And that's important. And we've worked very hard on that since I've become governor. Roads, bridges, our seaports. We've put close to $1 billion. Now Florida's in a position, you see all those ships off the west and east coast of the United States that are backlogged. We have the capacity to alleviate those backlogs. People can reroute ships to Florida. All our different ports have different incentive packages. It's something that's really, really exciting, but it's something that we've put a lot of emphasis on. We've also invested and will continue to invest in workforce development. We want to be the #1 state for workforce education all across the country. We've increased apprenticeships. We have more students getting credentials than ever before, and we want to continue to do that, especially as we look to expand our manufacturing footprint. And we're also standing up and protecting individuals' right to work, making sure businesses are always be able to operate, and I think that that formula has been very, very good. Now, what I will say is, in spite of the success that we've been able to have, we're doing that against some constraints. And I think one of the things that has been impacting Floridians the most has been the spike in gas prices. And so I really hope the Biden administration will do all that they can to reduce the price of gas. And begging OPEC to lower the price, that's not a sufficient plan. We have ability capacity in the United States that was utilized under the previous administration. Now some of that's been choked off, and I fear that you can get a job, do better, make more money, but then if all your costs go up, it's harder for families to get ahead. So the gas prices are a huge deal, and we need relief for that. And then we also just need relief generally from the inflation that we're seeing. You can't dismiss it and say that it was just a little blip. And this is inflation that's really, really real. And this is inflation that eats away at families' budgets. It makes things more unattainable. So our ports, we think, can help because you get more goods into the market. That will alleviate the increase in prices. But I think that there's a lot of other things going on in Washington that is fueling this inflation that we see. And the inflation hits everybody. And it's really difficult to have a really strong economy if inflation gets out of hand. So that needs to be tamed and that needs to be brought under control. I think we've offered part of the solutions to that with our logistical know-how and ability to help process some of these goods. But at the end of the day, this is something that I think you're seeing across the board, and it is absolutely harming families. One of the things we're proud of is when COVID hit, clearly leisure hospitality, that was number one in the barrel of things that were going to be harmed. I mean, some people for a while didn't even want to fly on airplanes and all this other stuff. And so given that we are such a service-based economy, given that our tourism, leisure, and hospitality represent huge portions of our economy, account for a lot of jobs, this was really a trying time. I mean, we had a lot on the line here in the state of Florida, and I'm happy to report now that our tourism industry is leading this nation. Hotel room revenue in August of 2021 was up 11% compared to pre-COVID August of 2019, while at the same time the nation as a whole was down 5% over those two periods. Here in Sarasota County, they lead the state in hotel bookings and growth. They're up 31%. Florida vacation rental bookings through September 2021 are more than over 80% higher than in 2019 before COVID. Air capacity to Florida is 2% higher than it was in 2019, while the U.S. as a whole is down 18%. We had 31.7 million visitors came to Florida in the second quarter of 2021. That's a 223% increase from 2020, which you probably would expect, but it's also a 6% increase from 2019 in terms of domestic visitors. And the Sarasota Bradenton Airport, if you compare flights this summer to summer of 2019, is up 125%. And our reps inform me that that's the best performing increases in the United States, and I think maybe even in the world. So that's exciting, and clearly the secret is out about this part of the state of Florida. So we're going to continue to make sure that Florida's open, free, and built for opportunity, and we want to make sure that people have the ability to succeed here in this state, that they have jobs, that businesses are successful, and that Florida is a great place for people all throughout our country to come and visit and have a great time. And there's correspondence to our office on a whole bunch of stuff, but people will come down here for a vacation, and they're very, very happy that they came to Florida. And I think part of the reason we're doing so well is because Florida offers a better experience than maybe some of the other places in the United States since COVID's happened. So we're happy with that. All right, and we're going to hear from some folks who are going to talk about what's going on and some of the good news. Look, when you're doing over 40% of the nation's jobs, we represent about 6.5% of the nation's population, and we accounted for over 40% of the jobs in the month of September. That doesn't happen by accident, and I think it's because we've got a lot of great people who are working in our economy and really working hard to do great for their businesses and for their employees. So Rogan Donnelly from Tervis, why don't you come up here and tell us about some of the things that are going on?